So here is the informative session. First of all, I would like to give a very big congratulations to everybody who participated in it. So finally, you're all the innovators now. So I hope you're doing it very well in this competition. So here are we to give you some basic guidelines and the procedure of the I-Innovate Hackathon session, because there are so many questions coming out from the audience, and they want us to give the solutions for that. So here are we. So here we're going to start our basic PPT. You everybody are doing this. So yes, I would like to request my partner to start this.
Right. Hello, everyone. I'm Pratik. So we made a brief presentation to take you through the basics of this hackathon. So let me just share my screen and we'll go through that. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you, Pratik. Go ahead.
Great. Oh, let me just make it full screen. Right. So before we do anything, we need an idea. So what is an idea? It can be very simple. For instance, in the webinar, my partner Komal mentioned that an idea can be something similar, such as something to help people follow the social distancing guidelines in the way of a device or an app. I know the Indian government has already started on this, but it can be refined even further. So that's a basic idea. Now, before we get to an idea, we need a problem, because that's what an idea is meant to solve, a problem.
So, guys, what do you think a problem statement can be? So, it's basically, as of now, we're all facing the coronavirus, right? So, this is our main problem. And to this problem, we have to find the solution of how to just avoid it, how to get rid of it. Yes?
Now, of course, we can only get rid of it with a vaccine. And if you guys can find a vaccine, that will be ideal. That will help solve all the problems. But till then, we'll go to the more challenging issues without a vaccine, of course. So let's go back to our example, social distancing. Now, that is an idea, an app or a device to help people become aware and follow it accurately. Now, what is the problem? Now, in India, of course, there's a lot of population. And some people, so many different languages. Some people understand it, some people don't. What language do you communicate in? So people are not really following social distancing as much as they should. And it's very important because in order to control the virus, we need to ensure that people follow the norms set by the government and the ICMR, the Indian Council for Medical Research. So that's the problem. How do you find a solution for this problem, which is social distancing and making people aware?
So, what would be the solution?
What could be a solution? So we'll stick with the same example. Hopefully everyone is following this example. It's pretty relevant these days.
It is very important for you to understand this presentation because you are going to do the same thing with your hackathon. So basically, a solution can be a sensor or an application or any web page you could develop.
So there's some of the good solutions that Komal has given. So let's take a solution that everyone uses. Everyone has mobile phones. From the richest person in the world to people, working in farms and staying in villages. Everyone has a mobile phone of some kind. And these days, the best way to reach people is through a mobile phone. So a solution could be an app. An app that will basically maybe, use Bluetooth to let people know that they're too close to the front people, because Bluetooth works over a certain distance and it can connect to the app automatically. I don't know if you guys use some sort of app. I don't know. These days, apps are going crazy. Dating apps, for instance, have this sensor that's you bumped into each other. Maybe something like that. You're bumping into people. Please maintain your distance, and that is the solution. Now the next stage is, how is your solution going to impact? Impact is very important, because you can have a solution or an idea, but you need to create an impact and execute it. So what will the impact be of this solution? Now, first of all, the main impact, the main aim is to help people follow social distancing guidelines. Now, how will you do that with the app? And how do you maximize the impact? What do you need? Marketing, possibly, government support, which is very important. And we'll provide that in the hackathon, of course. So you'll need to list out the impacts of your solution in this presentation. You're going to create a very similar presentation. Now, what are the resources you need? Now, every idea, can be a good idea on paper, but you need to be able to execute it. Now, for that, of course, we understand that you don't have all the resources at hand. So you need to make a list in this. What exactly do you need, or what exactly would someone need to make sure the idea is implemented? Now, this hackathon provides you the opportunity to work with the government and implement the solution. Now, for our idea, for instance,
For
app
example,
for social
you're taking
distancing.
the sensors for the social distancing. So what would be the resources? It can be the IoT. So what kind of sensor you're using? So all the resources should be related to the IoT, or you can also connect it to some machine learning algorithms. So what sort of algorithms you're linking it? So this all will be under resources. I hope you all are understanding. And then finally, you have to make a page where what is your team name, the captain name, the mobile number, and the email, the number of team members, and team details. So this is how you're going to present and give your PPT. Submit your PPT by tomorrow 10 a.m. in the morning. So that is the deadline. I hope you guys will complete it on time. Okay. Unmute Kizzy.
Now we'll go to our colleague Krishna Chaitanya.
So Krishna Chaitanya will explain us the further details and the guidelines you're required.
So guys, due to this participant restriction, we were unable to accept more, participants to this webinar. So we'll be recording the session and we'll be sharing with all the participants as well. So regarding the submissions guidelines, so in fact, we have shared you the application link like I-Innovate PPT. So where you have supposed to go to the website link and you need to submit your PPT in that. So, and many of you are thinking that you need to submit at 10 a.m. It's not like that. The sooner the better. So like we were actually started evaluation as well. So kindly submit to the link, and in the place of team details. So if you are actually, if you're a single participant, so just make sure that leave the other team members as an empty blank. So just don't worry that if you don't have a team, it's not mandatory to have a team, and each and every participant will get a participation certificate. And you're all curious to know the results part. So we'll be announcing the results on 4th evening. So where there'll be a session after the inaugural session. After the inaugural session, we'll be announcing the results of the first round category, and they'll be entering into quarantine learning carnival. It was such an amazing
No, I think we just lost
the internet connection. We're so sorry for this.
Anyone has a solution for that to stop internet connection going bad? That'll be great. Yeah, so we'll be announcing
the results by the 4th evening. Yeah, he's back.
Krishna is back. Welcome back, Krishna. We'll need to unmute him again.
Oh my God, it's so challenging. But yeah, so since participant restriction, it is actually stopping me to getting into the meeting. But yeah, so
okay, carry on.
Oh yeah. So regarding this link, so the application. So regarding this quarantine learning thing, so where many of the people are worrying about how we can come up with a technology solution if we are from a different background. That was one of the key solutions, that mainly, let's say a civil engineering student is asking me that how can I come up with a website or application. So in this quarantine learning, there are various companies who gonna teach you web development, Android development, and IoT, and there are various industry talks, and like there are talks from various government employees. So they'll actually have an idea on how to do, and during that course you'll have an opportunity to build the product during the hackathon. So it's a 1 million non-stop seconds hackathon, so you'll have an opportunity to develop that. So I think that's the main rules. And like regarding the form, just please make sure fill it as soon as possible, since we have started this offer. So now I think we'll go with the Q&A session, because we are receiving many calls from the participants. So I think let's just go to the Q&A session.
So the first question is from Ovia, asking us, can the idea solve general problems? Of course it can solve general problems. We actually encourage for people to look at general problems. I know we all swarmed up in coronavirus hysteria, but I think general problems are also very much encouraged. And let's see more questions. Feel free to text all the questions.
Yeah, it's
guys.
not necessary that the idea should be related only to the COVID. They can also include any general idea. So this is the most important question everybody are asking us.
Now, next question, I'll probably pass it on to Krishna Chaitanya. So it's from Shiv. I don't know if you can see that on the chat, Krishna Chaitanya. You're a team 7.
Yeah.
It's I'm afraid to say that like it's not possible. So there is a complete team restriction of 5. So
because
one can't.
As we've already told everybody that only 5 people, maximum 5 people can be in a team. So we couldn't look forward for the 7 people now.
Yep, and we have another question from Gayatri, and it's quite an interesting question. Hopefully she has a solution on vaccination. Of course, you can submit something on vaccination. I
Definitely.
think that's what everyone is looking for at the moment.
Yeah.
And
you can submit more than one idea.
Yeah, if it really solves the pressing issue, so it's not restricting the ideas. See, the main aim of this hackathon is to address the current pressing problem. So that was a major agenda of this event.
And one more question, which is quite important. How many people will be selected for the first round?
So basically, this is all depending upon the ideas and the best ideas. It can be anything. If the ideas is like presented very good,
We'll select you. So there
definitely
is no limit as such, which is good for you guys. So I'm hoping we'll get all the best ideas across.
Yeah, we are just concentrating on the ideas, but not on the number.
Yeah, you can relate the problems. So from Rutvik, we have a question that, can we relate the problems to industry? Of course, you can present an idea if an industry is particularly badly hit and it needs a new innovation. That will work as well. Another important question from Ovia is, an idea or concept only okay, or do you need a model or prototype? At this stage, idea would work, but we also it's very important for you to list the resources. One idea could be, there's a lack of diamond in the world, so we can go to the space and mine all the diamonds from there. I mean, it's a very good idea. I'd love to have diamonds coming from space, but it's not really practical. Imagine the resources you need. So it's very important for you guys to list the resources and be as accurate as possible.
So we'll pass on to the Krishna Chaitanya now.
Yeah, how can we do hardware related projects in this period, because it's hard to buy a hardware resources. Yeah, so regarding this, so we have a IoT exclusive session on IoT by Cloudchip Technologies Private Limited, where they'll help you. And in fact, we gonna connect to the various incubators and investors. They are ready to invest in the product. So since government is willing to implement as many solutions possible within this short span of time. Please give me email IDs. Yeah. Can I do projects from agriculture domain? Yes, absolutely. You can. There is no restriction.
Yeah.
And there's a
So
question from a person saying that my English is not so good in the PPT. So is there any problem for that? And I don't think there's any thing related to the English
Yeah.
here
yeah,
because
so I mean, you can
we'll
write it in Telugu as well or any other language you speak. We'll use Google Translate, which is not ideal, but
no
of course, India has many languages, and idea can be in any language as long as we can translate it
understand
easy
it.
and understand it. And I
So
hope everyone is here from Telangana, so Telugu is a language we can read.
so, but
Yeah.
I guess English would be more preferable because it could be more complicated when you go with the language issues. So the basic English would be fine.
Another question from Shub is, if you can't delve with the hardware now, can we go with the model? I think the first stage, it's quite important, the idea. We're not looking for a finished product, you know? An idea is the most important bit, and we will help you fill in the gaps and take it to the finished product.
Yeah.
The idea is the winner here. It's not the fact that you have a model ready or a product ready.
Yeah. As exclusively this round one is focusing on what Pratik said, it's based on the idea. Like we are not expecting you to come up with any minimum viable product or any developed application. So it just focus on the idea. If you screen out your idea, then there will be a sessions and the next round where we focus on the minimum viable product. For that, you'll be assigned to the mentors. So we have a hand-picked mentors from various industry, academia, and like so we'll assign those mentors to your team. And yeah. And one more suggestion to everyone: if your questions get resolved, just please leave the meeting so that actually like there are almost
There
two
are
to three
so many
hundred.
people who are waiting to ask the
Yeah,
questions.
yeah,
So instead of
Yep, I think that will be grateful if other people can also join in.
join, because here we have only 100 participants of maximum limit. So I request
Yeah, we
everybody.
should have done a webinar. Well, next time we'll do that instead. And yeah, one more question from Rishikesh, saying his idea or solution is other than social distancing for COVID-19. Can you do it? Of
Yeah,
course.
of
It
course.
can be any other idea. It doesn't
So
need to be related to coronavirus or
so
anything. It
that
can
is the
be,
thing. We've already told you in the first question was that, like, can it be any other general issue? We have said and gave it a clear statement that it can be any general issue to be considered.
and one good question from Kavita is, do you need to go into detail info on how are you going to implement the idea and the resources? And the detail will be great, but it's important to keep it concise. We don't expect, research papers to come across on our desks.
yeah,
We have a
exactly.
limited time to analyze it. So if you could keep it concise, maybe some bullet points, you need these resources and what you'll do with these resources and why these resources are important. So a few bullet points is quite important.
So we have only 5-10 minutes left. Any other questions? Please resolve. We are here to resolve it only in 5-10 minutes more. You can do on
Women, there is
women
a question
safety.
from
Yeah,
Vikram. Yeah,
women safety. Can we do on this?
go
Definitely,
ahead.
we can do on anything because we have included it.
Yeah, there is no restriction on any idea. If you have an idea that relates to farming issues, for example, there's a lot of problems with the logistics of farming. There's a lot of middlemen involved. If you have an idea that the farmer can sell his goods directly from an app, that will work as well. I think that will be quite good. Maybe like an eBay for farmers. Any other questions? Feel free. I think we might need to scroll down. Oh.
So there is a question on the evaluation process, and this was one of the most crucial element, like most of the participants
We
that they are
consider.
asked. So the first round will actually assign 20 marks, 20 points based on the PPT, and also there is no restrictions for the PPT slides. Like we have gave you the standard template. Like you are supposed to follow the flow, but whereas it's not restricted or limited to the within the scope, you can just go beyond the PPT, and if you have any more information that you want to project, you can just absolutely do that. And like you can design the things and you can add the images or whatever that you want, but like the mandatory thing is that you need to address the questions that which we specify in the PPT. So majority of the score will be weightage for that. So there is no restriction in the maximum number of slides.
One important question is probably for KC. Can they have extra slides explaining the idea, or do they need to keep it concise within the boundaries you've given them?
If it really necessary, they can add the extra slides as well. There is no restriction in the slides, but yeah.
But it's important to keep it concise. That's one main thing we're also looking at. How concise is the idea? If your idea
How
takes
you're representing it in a very
100 pages to
concise
explain,
way.
it's then
It's difficult for us to evaluate because we're not evaluating only one, we're evaluating many. So the more it is concise, the more it is understandable, the more it is easy to solve.
Another question is, someone is an engineer student, and how can they accurately tell about the resources? Now that depends on an idea. So if you're developing a rocket ship to take you to space, of course you need a lot of resources. But it's something simple like an app, then you don't need that many resources.
When you're not clear about your idea, so you can just pick another one, because we are mainly concentrating on the resources as well. You just can't pick a random idea and just put on here.
Yeah.
No, it's
some question from Vadi Raju Sandeep. He said that if you're not qualified for the next round, we can't get certificate. No, there is not like that. Each and everyone who submits the solution, they'll get a participation certificate from Telangana State Innovation Cell and Telangana Information Technology and Publish Sutra. But whereas, like, if you screen out for the further rounds, then there will be many opportunities in terms of internships and, like, you'll having an opportunity to pitch your idea in front of investors, and, like, there are many opportunities for your, like, surprises. In fact, we logged it as a surprises.
And one more question from Shiva. He's asking, is the project name or title important?
Yes.
Now, what is a project name? It's basically a one-sentence description of your idea. What will your idea consist of? What is the idea? For instance, going back to our example, social distancing app. That's
this can
it.
be the name of the project.
Yeah. You can't, we prefer you not to giving military titles to, your projects, like, Project Vijay or something, where we don't really know what it is about. And you have to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Another important question from Pawan Kumar. The Google form given is not accepting the PPT.
PowerPoint.
And we have been informed to
Convert it into PDF. Yeah.
The animated PPT cannot be converted.
Yeah, but it's also quite important. I mean, animations, it's as much as we like it, it's good to keep it in the format we've given, which is words. I think it's
because, you can include it in another level or something.
Yeah, if you get through, then you can have more detailed animations.
This is a basic idea presentation thing, so I don't think the animation would be required.
Another important question is, what is the round after the PowerPoint submission?
Yeah, so after the round one, we'll have a jury members where we'll evaluate your ideas, and we'll screen out the best ideas from the phase one. And right after the phase one, we'll announce the results on tomorrow evening. And after the results, you're gonna assign to a mentors. These mentors are expertise in various domains. So, like, each mentor will be assigned to respective teams, where in each day he'll be spending at least 1.5 hour time with all of your team members, and he can guide you through the process. He'll instruct you.
Yeah. Another question is from Akila. She asked that her PowerPoint was done on a mobile phone. If any font size will be changed, will we cut the marks? Oh, sorry. Probably not. I think the idea is quite important. We're not really looking at how pretty you make your presentation. Mm-hmm. The most important thing here is the idea. And let's go through more questions. So we've already been through this. Can you submit more than one problem statement? Yes, you can submit more than one problem statement if it's really necessary. And when will the list of people who got selected be declared? That will be tomorrow. Tomorrow evening. Yeah. Great. And I need to reiterate one more thing, that you need to you can do an idea on anything. It doesn't need to be related to COVID. It doesn't need to be related to the current situation. The idea can be about any situation at all.
Yeah. In the, that's the only reason, we have gave the options, like in the while submitting, there is one option called during COVID problem statements, post COVID problem statements, and there is a special category called other. So that will fall into the other category. So there is no restriction in the problem statement. The main theme of this event is to have come up with your own problem statements. Like that was the main agenda of this. Our idea is about watch, and we are a team of 5, and we
are studying engineering first year. Should we
first
pursue
year.
the product if we get selected?
So it's not necessary to project the product out of it. Like, right, it is not doable within this limited scope and within this limited resources. But yeah, at least you need to come up with a minimum, like how the product look like, or like any wireframes, or like
the structure of the product would be required in this case.
Yep. Again, we're getting a lot of questions on whether the ideas can be on COVID or any other issues. I'll just tell that again. It can be on anything. It doesn't need to be on COVID. If you have a COVID idea, that's great, but we won't cut any marks if it's not COVID. It can be on any single thing. You know, you don't need to limit your beautiful brains on just COVID. And
on what basis you select the teams and assign the mentors? It's basically based on your idea and your presentation. The presentation skills also matters here. So everything would be considered. What are the resources? How are you presenting your solution and problem statement?
How concise it is. And depends on the industry as well, because we have many industries mentors. So if your idea is on civil engineering, for example, we're likely to assign you to someone who's from that part of the sector. If your idea is on agriculture, we hope to assign you on someone who's experienced in agriculture to help you nurture that idea and execute it properly. And again, what is the criteria for assigning marks? So let me just list it down. I think a list would be very useful. We'll also send that across in an email if that will help you guys. So criteria is, first of all, what is the idea? Idea is the most important. If your idea is good, then we're likely to select you. Second thing is, what are the resources required? How easy is it for you to select the resources? Or how easy is it to implement the idea? Right? And then we go down to the conciseness. How concise is your presentation? Now, can you explain your idea to a layman? For example, if a 5-year-old kid, can that idea be explained to that 5-year-old kid? And that is what we're looking at in terms of the marks. We'll send that across in a later email to help you through it.
So it's a good question here. Once I have submitted the slides, can I resubmit it again? Or should I submit a new one?
I think it's not possible, but like if there is any major point you want to do, like just do resubmit. Like we are considering that, like there is no restriction, you can do resubmit if you have any issues, but like there is no extension of the deadline. It's like strictly tomorrow 10 a.m.
That's it. So I guess you all have understood and we have solved most of your queries, the basic queries you all were requesting us to do. So I think we're going to end this session now.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thank you so much.
One more important question, actually. So what sort of name should be given to the presentation? So will it be team name, person name? How should the presentation be saved in the Google Forms?
Yeah, just a second, Pratik. Let me just share the screen.
Yeah, sure.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can see this. Everybody can see.
Yeah. If you have any queries, just feel free to drop to this email address. We'll be responding instantaneously. And like that, this is the submission link where you need to follow the rules for that. Like there's a form. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll also share the recording video. So this webinar is recorded, so we'll share that across. We'll probably put it on YouTube.
Put it on YouTube or on the groups. You're all included. So I hope we are ending this session. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for taking part, and we hope to get some beautiful ideas and hopefully a vaccine for COVID-19 by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All the best, everybody.
All the best. All right.